good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are. I'm going to get this full screen. This is Chapter 4, Section 1, full screen, where we go over categorical propositions. This should be fairly straightforward and a short chapter. We just need to go over what, before we get to Venn diagrams, what all, some, and none mean, and what are categorical propositions. So in this section, we'll begin our study of what are called categorical propositions. Categorical propositions are going to be the work of Venn diagrams, but we'll also come back when we begin truth tables soon. From Chapter 1, you'll remember that categorical syllogisms are a kind of deductive argument. The statements that make up a categorical syllogisms are categorical propositions. Okay? So syllogisms are made up of categorical propositions. We'll go through the four forms, but you'll recall from Chapter 1 that we had propositions like all men are mortal, Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is a mortal. That would be a categorical syllogism. So they relate to classes or category, like all men or all mortals. Okay? So for example, we might have a class of nuclear accidents, right? And things that result in contamination, as in radiation. And therefore we could have a categorical proposition. Nuclear accidents result in contamination. Okay? So for now, we'll confine our attention to categorical propositions that are in the standard form. The standard categorical propositions have these four forms. All S are P, no S are P, some S are P, some S are not P. Apologies, I'm playing with some Velcro here to get something, free up my leg actually. My apologies. So all S are P. So that would be all men are mortal, and S and P can represent anything. Okay? They can represent all mammals or animals, right? So S can represent anything, P can represent anything. No SRP. Okay, so no fish are mammals, right? Remember, that's why whales are not fish, right? Because no fish are mammals and whales are mammals. So we can have that categorical proposition. And some S are P. So some mammals are animals, right? Only some animals are mammals because some, that's only some. There are other animals other than mammals, like fish, for example, okay? And some S are not P. This would be something like some animals are not mammals. So, for example, some fish are not, well, sorry, that's wrong. Some mammals are not animals is perfectly correct. Right? All men are mortal. No men who are not mortal are men. Some mammals are animals. Some animals are not mammals. Okay? You can have those S or P representing any infinite number of different classes. And that's what we call them, classes of entities. And so when we get to Venn diagrams and we're drawing circles, those circles are going to represent, they're going to represent different classes of entities. And through that, actually, we're going to be able to make deductive arguments, or actually to see if deductive arguments are valid or invalid. So these are the possible quantifiers, and this is what we call, okay? That is, they're the adjectives, in a sense, for these classes. All, no, or some. They come right before all S are P, no S are P, some S are P, and some S are not P. Again, these could stand in for anything, and we could have true or false propositions. For now, we won't be dealing with that, but that's certainly the case, right? That people use Venn diagrams to find out whether a proposition is true or are false. Not just an argument, but a proposition, right? But all men are mortal. That's a true proposition. No, no fish are mammals. Some animals are mammals. Some animals are not mammals, right? So that's the examples that I've been using. So S is called the subject term, the first one that comes up. But this could be any letter, all A or B. We can use any letter to represent a class of things, right? Fish is a class of entities. It's not just one, right? If I talk to you about fish, it's a whole species of very different types of entities, right? When I say mammals, right, then we have a set of different types of animals who happen to have a spine or backbone, right? P could be as well is first. It's like, what is the subject of a sentence in grammar? Okay. P, hopefully here, represented by P, is the predicate term. That is, you're saying all of this belongs to this, right? So the subject is attached to the predicate in some way, okay? So this predicate could be mammals, animals, men, and mortal, to use the examples that I've given thus far, okay? Now, what we have in between is what in grammar is called the copula, and it's called the same in language. It's what holds two parts of the sentence together. But a copula in English is a version of the verb to be. Am, are, is, right? I am, right? You are, it is, right? So we are going to see some version of the word to be, right? All S are P, no S are P, some S are P, some S are not P. So the R here, which is all the same, is called the copula. Now the R may be an R not, okay? So it could be R or R not. So that's called the copula. And that's what holds S and P together. All right? So some practice problems, okay? So all cases of cystic fibrosis are genetic diseases, okay? What is the word all called? Well, it's not the subject term. It's not the predicate term. We know that the copula, just from what we saw, is the R, so it's called the quantifier. Why is it doing that? Oh, that's not going to help if I can't pick one. Good, I can't go on to the next one, okay? All is indeed, I guess from the bottom, I could see that they're, it's just going to wait, right? But in any case, let's just break this down. All is the quantifier. Cases of cystic fibrosis is the subject term. And then what comes after the copula is the predicate. And that's the predicate term right there. Just waiting patiently here. Nope. I'll give it one more second before I just simply turn to the textbook and go to a different page. And why don't I do that? What I'll do is I'll put up on the screen just what would be our next thing that we're looking at. And so you'll just listen for me to turn to 5.4. My apologies. 4.1. Okay. So in 4.1, we get a number of 4.1. We get any number of different sentences in the homework. Okay. So if you go to page 203 in the homework, it says in the following categorical propositions, identify the quantifier, the subject term, the copula, and the predicate term. So in 4.1, I'll be doing the homework for you. Number 1 says, some executive pay packages are insults to ordinary workers. So what we want to do is take with that sentence, right, and you have the book, so you have the answer already in the back of the book. And what you want to do is name what is the quantifier, name what is the subject term, name what is the copula, name what is the predicate term. Okay? And so in number 1, it said we want to identify first the quantifier. Remember, quantifier is some, none, or all. So in number 1, if you turn to 203, some executive pay packages are insults to ordinary workers. Well, some executive pay packages are insults to some ordinary workers. The quantifier is some. Now, what is the subject of that sentence? Well, that would be executive pay packages, right? It comes before the copula. So executive pay packages are the subject term. Are is the copula, right? A version of the word to be. And the predicate term, insults to ordinary workers. So the predicate term, although we call it the term, is in fact, can be whole phrases, as the chapter makes clear, okay? And this helps us to build up categorical syllogisms, okay? But again, we're only at the level of propositions. It'll go more when we turn next to Venn diagrams, okay? 2, no stressful jobs or occupations conducive to a healthy life. Style. What is the quantifier? The quantifier is no. So it's some, no, or all, and it's no stressful jobs. That's the quantifier. Do you see how it's quantifying? It's either some, none, or all. None being 0, some meaning between 0 and a high number, or infinity, but not all, and all, meaning everyone in that class belongs to this, right? So no is the quantifier. The subject comes before the copula. Stressful jobs are occupations. Conducive, right? No stressful jobs. The copula is are, and the predicate is occupations conducive to a healthy lifestyle. Okay? 3, this is another proposition, right? That contribute to photochemical smog. So again, the quantifier, again, these are coming first, the quantifiers, but occasionally they may not. All is the quantifier. Again, it is all, some, or none. All. Now we get the subject term, oil-based paint, right? Then we get the copula, are, and then we get products that contribute to photochemical smog. Okay? 4, again, you have the answer in the back. Some is the quantifier, all, some, or none. Then what comes before the copula? Preachers, who are intolerant of others' beliefs, right? Then we get the copula, are, and then we get the predicate. Are television evangelists. The copula is are not. 5, all trials in which a coerced confession is read to the jury are trials in which a guilty verdict can be reversed. So here we have all trials in which a coerced confession is read to the jury. All, some, or none. Well, we look for all. We find all is right at the beginning. And then we look for the subject. What comes before the copula? Trials in which a coerced confession, trials in which a guilty verdict can be reversed. Again, that's a whole class, right? There's not just one kind of right, in which there's a coerced confession that is read to the jury. And you're taking those two classes and you're putting them together. Looking for all, none, or some for the quantifier. Some is the quantifier. So artificial hearts is the subject. And then are is the copula. Mechanisms that are prone to failure, the predicate. Okay? programs that are currently eroding public morals. Now, what the book is attempting to do there is to give you well, let's get the quantifier out of the way, right? And that is all, none, or some. And so we see here that no different classes of things, right? And that is an R. Two classes are sex education courses that are taught competently. That is a class of things. There, of course, is another class, sexual education courses, right, that are we get the R then, that is the true copula, the one between competently and programs, on number 7. And then we get the predicate, that are currently eroding public morals. Programs that are currently eroding public morals. So there you go. We get a quantifier, a subject term, copula, and a predicate term. Even if we have 3 R's in one sentence, there's one R is holding together the subject, and the second R is the copula, and the third is holding that together. Programs that are currently eroding public morals. Okay, that's one long predicate. 8, some universities that emphasize research are not institutions that neglect undergraduate education. So our quantifier, I think, by this point is easy. It's the word some. Again, it comes ordinarily at the beginning of the sentence. The subject, I think, is easy to find. We only have one possible copula here, and that's R. So what comes before that? Between the copula and the quantifier, or the quantifier and the copula, is universities that emphasize research. And then we have the copula R that neglect the predicate, institutions that neglect undergraduate education. This is to help set us up for Venn diagrams. That's what we'll be looking at here next time. I'll have to draw the Venn diagrams and put them. If you have any questions, do let me know.